Yeah.
What's poppin', Dooney and Burke? That was a good one. This is Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I am here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Married to Medicine Season 9, Episode 3 review. Let's get into tonight's episode. So we start the episode off with Contessa visiting Toya at her home. And Toya has bought herself some flowers. She's all about self-care. She needs to take care of herself. And you know, with Toya, it's all about me. And I'm like, girl, your whole life is about self-care. Everything you do is about you and your self-care. Like, what isn't it about in your life that isn't about self-care? You need to be carrying on your damn husband who over there working like a Hebrew slave, Lord. Help her, Jesus. Help her. So she says in her confessional that, you know, Eugene has been really hurt by the things that Heavenly has been saying about him, that, you know, he's a woman, and I couldn't even get this shit out. It's so funny. I mean, as a man, that would hurt my feelings if some woman was calling me another woman. But I mean, it's obvious that Toya wears the pants in that relationship. So, you know, Heavenly comes up and all the horrible, nasty things that she said about the ladies throughout the years. And Contessa suggests they have an intervention. So they call up Simone and tell her the idea. Simone is like, hey, what y'all really think this is going to do? Like, all she going to do is laugh and say it was a joke and give a fake ass apology and do it again. But they, what's her name? Contessa says that we're going to do like Heavenly's greatest hits, like show her everything that she said about us throughout the years and really confront her and let her know that she cannot continue to do these things. And like I said to you guys, I really feel like this season coming in that Contessa used this as a storyline because she no longer wanted to focus on her marriage and everything that had happened in the prior season. Because what I really feel like is that after seeing the season back and everything that she had been saying in her confessionals and to her girlfriends, that Scott got in her ass. Scott got in her ass and bullied her, tormented her, talked to her, yelled at her. He did something. It was like, basically, don't you ever do no shit like that again. And I think that, you know, there is some type of like verbal abuse. Something is going on in that house that it ain't all sweet. It could even be some physical abuse. And I know people like, you know, so Contessa, this big ass woman, she could whoop his ass. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing, because it's obvious that Contessa has some self-esteem issues where she doesn't feel worthy enough. I don't know if that stems from her having a drug addicted father. But it's something very odd about their relationship. And I think that there is some type of abuse going on in that home, especially after what we saw last season and how he was treating her, talking to her, making her feel fearful about what she says. Like, the whole thing was just weird last season. And I really feel like she was using the show to expose him, to have, you know, to try to get away, but it didn't work. I don't know. It's just something ain't right about her and Scott. And like I said, I think that she has a valid reason to be upset with Heavenly based off the things that Heavenly has said about her on social media. All of the ladies have a right to be upset with her. But the problem is, like Heavenly said, after I had even said those things that they keep on showing on the show, she came on my channel after that. So you couldn't have been that upset and mad. You used this as a storyline. If you were genuinely mad, you would have been confronting her about this shit. Would have been confronted her. But you decided to use this as a scapegoat, not to address what's going on between you and Scott, because you can tell that things are not okay in that marriage. So Anila and Kyron or whatever her husband's name is, tell the kids that Miss Gomez is going adios. She is going bye. She is fleeing the coop. And they little son was like, oh, well, what about my pinto beans? That's the first child I ever seen crying over some pinto beans. Because Lord knows when we was kids, we did not want to eat no motherfucking pinto beans, baby. When our mamas or grandmamas or make a big pot of pinto beans, baby, with the ham hocks or whatever that meat was in their child. And we'll be like, oh God, we got to eat this old goddamn slave food with some cornbread. You be like, But then when you become an adult woman or man and you got to eat some pinto beans during the wintertime with some cornbread or some shit, you be like, ooh, this shit is good. It hit differently as an adult. When we was kids and your grandmama would be like, you got to eat this and stick to your bones and fill you up. You know what I'm saying? You did not want to eat that shit as no kid. So Anila was like, I'll fix you some pinto beans. He was like, do you know how to make it? And she was like, no, but I'll try. So they tell the kids that Miss Gomez is leaving that day. So the kids is, they sad about it. They go rushing over and give her a hug. And she hugs the kids goodbye. They go outside and walk her to the car. And they're hugging her goodbye again. And here go Anila. Anila and Toya are the same person. They are the same person. Maybe that's the reason why they don't get along, because they are selfish as hell. It's all about them. They try to live above their means. They work their husbands to death. They cap and they floss. It's all about the glitz and the glam of everything. It's just ridiculous. So Anila gonna say to this lady as she's leaving, not thank you for all of your years of service, of helping us with our family. You are, near and dear to us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's a bonus for everything you've done for us. We wish you well, da-da-da-da-da. No, Anila takes the opportunity to once again secure her services and says, if you ever change your mind, we're here. You were so good for us as our nanny, as our kids' parents, because we don't want to be Girl, if you didn't want to have no kids, why the fuck did you have them? Because it's obvious you don't want to be bothered with them. Like, I see why Miss Gomez was trying to get the fuck up out of there. And you could tell that she cared for them kids, but she didn't really care for them like that. And that she built up a wall between her and those kids and that family. You can tell that she did not feel appreciated for real within that family. Because any other nanny that had been with a family for 5 years, been with a little boy his whole entire life, up until that point, would have been crying, would have been, sad. She was like, fuck them kids. She couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. The daughter started crying as the lady leaving. The little boy didn't cry, but the daughter was crying. But Miss Gomez skirted the fuck out of there and did not look back. And I don't blame her, because it is obvious that they was treating her like she was them kids' parents, especially Anila ass. So good riddance. Bye, Miss Gomez. Don't come back no more. Fuck them and make that lady be a mama. So we then see Eugene at home with Toya, and he's working more shifts over something that was going on at the hospital, because he's trying to keep his money the same. He ain't trying to lose out on any money, because they need all the money they can get with Toya's spending habits and Toya trying to live like she in Trump Towers or some shit. So Toya was like, see, this is why I've been doing self-care, because all you've been having is a minute to talk to me. Because he was like, I gotta go to work. And I'm like, bitch, you been self-caring. That's why this man is over here working himself to the goddamn bone, so you can continue to care on yourself. Like, shut up, Toya. So Eugene goes on to let us know that, he has been struggling after the pandemic, because what they saw and went through was a lot on a lot of physicians, including himself. And he was like, it's a lot of physicians that are like either just wanting to get out the game, do something different, because it really weighed down on them. They were working long hours, fearing for their own life and safety for their families' lives and safety. It was a lot. And at this point, even Eugene is burnt out. Like, he wants to continue to be a physician, but he also wants to do something else that's more fun and light. And I don't blame him. And you can tell that man is overwhelmed. He is overwhelmed with his job, with the long hours, with the stress of it all, the stress of Toya and trying to keep up with this lifestyle that they obviously could not afford. And at this point, Eugene needs to put his fucking foot down. He really needs to put his foot down and say enough is enough at this point. So it's intervention day. Lord Jesus. Everybody is arriving to Contessa's house. Contessa is there walking around with this lavender wig on her head, looking like Paula Deen. I didn't understand it. What was it for? I guess it was supposed to be in support of Heavenly's beauty supply, because that's where she got it from. But I need for her not to never do that again. She said that she was trying to go for Storm. I have never seen Storm with a wig like that on. Never ever. It was disrespectful. Bitch up here walking around looking like the queen of butter. No. So Contessa makes the ladies minus Toya and Simone give up their phones when they come in. When Quiet come in, she like, I don't really know about this. I don't know what's going on. She didn't want to give up her phone. So Toya was like, okay, well, if you don't want to, I mean, you can't come past this point. So Quiet was like, well, I'll leave. She was like, okay, bye. So the other ladies go chasing behind Quiet and tell her, just to put her phone down. Like, she ain't got to put it in a little thing or whatever. Same thing happens when Groot arrives. Simone in her confession was like, Toya is the wrong door person. And I was like, duh, she don't even like none of these other heifers. I just want to focus on Simone's outfit. What in the Sam hell did Simone have on? She looked like she had on a Gordon, what was it? A Gordon, I can't remember the name from the Cosby Show. A Gordon Garçon, was that what it was called, that Theo was trying to get, and he had Denise create him a shirt, and he came out looking a mess. It was all discombobulated. A sleeve was over here, a pocket was over there, and that's exactly what Simone's shirt was giving. Simone can't dress for shit. We think that Giselle can't dress. Oh God, Simone can't dress neither. I need for them to have a fashion off to see who has the worst fashion, Simone or Giselle. Who y'all think have the worst fashion, Simone or Giselle? Let me know down below in the comment section. So they go down to the movie room, and Contessa then goes to tell the ladies that they're having an intervention for Heavenly's YouTube. And I was like, why would you tell the girls before Heavenly get there? You should have made it a surprise for everybody outside of the girls that already do. I was like, Contessa, you don't know how to do nothing right. So Quiet was like, y'all some low down dirty people. And so Anila was like, I don't like the way this is going down. Anila is shook. Heavenly arrives, child. They all in the movie room, so they don't even know she upstairs. And Toya was like, why would you say that? Why would you say we are some low down people? And Quiet was like, because she's going to think this is an ambush. I'm not saying that y'all can't have y'all feelings and it's not okay to confront her. It's about how you're going about doing it. And Toya was like, her YouTube is actually an ambush to us. And I can see both sides. I see where Toya is coming from, and I see where Quad is coming from. Like, you can get on social media every Sunday, get on YouTube and have your opinions about us. We're doing it directly in your face. So it shouldn't be a problem. You can talk about us. We can show you what you said about us and then respond. Point blank, period. So Heavenly ends up coming downstairs into the movie room. And she hugs everybody. And she's like, what we watching, y'all? We watching a movie? But that's what we doing. And Contessa then sits down and is like, no, I'm going to play a video. So she starts playing the video. And it's filled with every negative, nasty thing that Heavenly has said on her YouTube channel about each of the ladies. And when I say she had a comment about everybody, she had a comment about everybody. Heavenly just breaks out laughing. She just think the shit is funny. She could give a goddamn because, she has no self-awareness. So as they're watching the shit, Anila was like, oh, I ain't seen all of this. I was like, yeah, bitch, why you sitting up here telling us this is wrong? This is wrong. Like, bitch, you talking about you too. So as they're watching the video, Quiet is taking notes. Quiet getting mad at all the shit that she's seeing that Heavenly has said about her throughout the years. Like, she cutting her eyes over there at Heavenly. I'm like, oh, but no, they some low down dirty people. Now your friend is a low down dirty person for saying the shit that she said about you. Okay. So Heavenly still cracking up. Like a goddamn witch. Goddamn it. She needs to be starring in Hocus Pocus too. So after the video goes off, Heavenly is mad. She's telling me, so this is what we doing, Contessa. You ain't called me in 5 months, but you gonna show this in front of everybody? My advice was sound. I thought we were real friends. Every word I said, I meant it. Well, if every word you said and you meant it, then what you getting so mad about? You can't not get mad. Like Funky Dineva said on his channel, he told Heavenly, if you're gonna be doing this YouTube video, recapping the episodes and talking about your friends, you have to be prepared for what's gonna come in behind it. And you said, okay, you understood the assignment. So you can't get mad when your so-called friends, your co-workers then have a problem with the things that you say. Okay, because it's not a problem with you recapping the show and talking about the things that happen on the show and whether you agree with it or not. It's the other shit that you say, going personal and low digs and talking about things as far as their relationships and their family and their finances. That's where it becomes really fucked up. So Tori was like, you need to stay off her marriage. You need to stay out of my motherfucking marriage. You've been doing this shit for years and you're trifling for it. So Heavenly was like, they say your husband said you're the worst decision he ever made. And I was like, oh, Jesus, this is what people be talking about. You cut deep and you cut low, just like Marlo, just like Marlo. And I was like, I don't understand why don't nobody read her about her and Damon. Like, read the fuck out of them. They ain't got no perfect marriage. Like, bitch, you need to be happy you even got a nigga like Damon, because nobody else would fuck with you. You trout mouth hoe. Like, it's so easy to go off on fucking Heavenly. So Simone was like, can we, get the focus on why we're here? And Heavenly was like, the focus is everybody talk about everybody. I do it on the platform and they do it behind people's backs. It was funny. Now, granted, they probably all do talk about each other's backs. That's what these types of shows are made of. Talking about each other's back. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, the fact that you say it in front of everybody on your platform, okay. But you still cannot get mad and want to dictate how somebody responds to the things that you say. Okay. And it may be funny to you, but it's obviously not funny to the next person. So Contessa was like, my marriage isn't funny. And I'm like, here we go. And so Heaven was like, you waited 5 months. Let's go outside. And so she grabbed Contessa by her wrist and was like, let's talk about this shit now, because you going to bring me to do this shit on camera, Contessa. And I'm like, really? Really? Now, once again, I do feel like Contessa uses for a storyline. I do feel like she waited until they started filming to make this a big thing. But I'm also looking at Heavenly like, you talk about the shit on camera. So you can't get mad when she pulls a you on you. You just simply cannot. So Contessa was like, you did this shit on camera. Yes, she did. So Heavenly is trying to hug her to calm her down, because you remember, Heavenly has stated several times she ain't no fighter and she ain't gonna fight. And she was scared that Contessa was about to whoop her ass. So she trying to hug Contessa, and Contessa was like, I never told anybody nothing about my relationship. And I'm like, see, that line right there goes to show that Contessa is full of shit and that she is trying to shift the narrative and put everything on Heavenly and act like season 8 never fucking happened. And this is where you lose the audience, and this is especially where you lose me, because how the hell you gonna get up here and say I never told anybody nothing about my relationship when your whole storyline in season 8 was everything about your relationship, darling? Like I said, I really feel like Scott got in her ass and told her, bitch, don't you ever play with me like that again. Because what you mean? Your whole storyline season 8 was about you and Scott's marriage. So what the fuck are you talking about? So Heavenly was like, yes, you did. Tessa Thompson, no, you did that. How could she talk about your marriage if you didn't give her anything to talk about, or the world, or us bloggers? Like, what are you talking about, Contessa? So Simone was like, I think somebody need to go out there and go check on them. Because, Contessa is screaming at the top of her lungs. Jackie was like, no, let them handle that. They need to do it. And I was like, Groot, one time, I fucking agree with you. And congratulations on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm excited to see it. So Contessa was like, I don't need your friendship if everything I tell you is going to be for clicks and likes. And Heavenly was like, I'm not going to argue with you, Contessa. So Contessa was like, if you think my marriage is a joke, then your marriage is a joke. You put that shit out there. No, bitch, you did. But okay, you're not going to make us believe like season 8 didn't happen. Bitch, this is not Men in Black. What the fuck? No, you're not going to erase what happened. So Heaven was like, you're delusional. And I agree. She was like, you're mad at your husband. I agree with that as well. Contessa was like, fuck you, Heavenly. And she storms out. Simone follows in behind Contessa. She trying to calm Contessa down, but Contessa is like She-Hulk. She should have been casted to play She-Hulk on Disney Plus, child. She can't stop her. Contessa's going off. They go in the kids' playroom, and Contessa was like, I thought she was going to say sorry. Really? You knew damn well that lady wasn't going to say sorry. So back in the room, Jackie is trying to break through and get through to Heavenly, she was like, stop slinging negativity and dirt right now. There was a lot said from Contessa, and you have to talk to her. And Heavenly was like, you know what? It is what it is. And she gets mad and she goes to leave. And as she's leaving and going up the steps, Heavenly says, I ain't did nothing, and you a flip-flopping ass bitch. To Simone. Simone gonna say, I'm not flip-flopping nothing. And Heavenly was like, yes you are, you and Toya, dumb ass. That shit was hilarious. So Quad in her confessional says this wasn't about getting through to Heavenly. It was about getting Heavenly for everything she's done and said. And I was like, even if that is the case, and she deserves it after years and years and years of her nasty, vile ass behavior. She deserves it. She deserves it. Look how she talked about you like a dog. Accused you of sleeping with married men and all types of shit. I'm sorry, you cannot sit up there and excuse that type of behavior just because she your homegirl. And so Quad tells the girls, you know, nobody told her to say the stuff that we said, that we saw her say, but this was not effective. I don't agree, because however you would have come to Heavenly about the situation, the reaction was still going to be the same. She wasn't going to take accountability. It don't matter how you came at her about it. She wasn't going to take accountability. I do believe that Heavenly does need to be checked and reprimanded about the shit that she say, because if you want to continue to talk about our husbands, our family, our finances, our looks, you can dish it, bitch, but you better be able to take it, because we all gonna start coming for your ass, or we just gonna start fucking with you, period. Point blank, period. We gonna start filming with your ass. You'll only have Quad and Anila to film with. Other than that, ain't nobody got time to be dealing with you, because somebody gonna whoop your ass, and you got a big ass mouth, and you've already said you ain't gonna fight nobody. So you either gonna get your ass whooped and take these hands, okay, or shut the fuck up, or nobody's going to fucking film with you. But on the flip side of that, I also feel like Contessa is full of shit, and that she is trying to negate the narrative from what happened in season 8 and place all of the blame and shift on Heavenly. And I think that that's a bunch of bullshit. She can feel her feelings about all the things that Heavenly has said about her, but bitch, you wasn't that damn mad, because like Heavenly said, if you was that mad, why you come on my channel after I said what I said? Girl, get out of here. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode down below in the comment section. Overall, I give tonight's episode an A+. It was funny as hell to me. Let's talk down below. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.